Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Wise Decision Maker Show, where we help you make the wisest and most profitable decisions. My name is Dr. Gleb Tsipursky. I'm the CEO of Disaster Avoidance Experts, the future of work consultancy that sponsors the Wise Decision Maker Show. And today I want to talk about how to empower workers to co-create the return to office, or if you already returned to office, the hybrid work schedule in such a way as to maximize engagement and productivity. Now, employee involvement in transitioning to hybrid work is really important, and that's not something that leaders do nearly sufficiently. Ignoring employees leads to frustration, resistance, and non-compliance, and nobody wants that. And I've seen that at the 24 companies that I helped figure out their transition to a hybrid work model, the importance of employee surveys and focus groups, getting them involved and having employee voices, helping employees feel like they're heard in the transition to figuring out the future of work model. And we see the same thing in the counterexamples. Amazon, Starbucks, Disney, Apple, and Lyft, and other large companies didn't include their employees nearly enough in the decision-making on the future of work, which resulted in these employees expressing a lot of frustration, a lot of resistance, a lot of non-compliance to the future of work, to their hybrid models. The employees felt excluded from decision-making when these companies imposed a one-size-fits-all hybrid model without real employee input and buy-in, which doesn't really work very well. Now, what does it mean to embrace employee preferences in hybrid work models? Well, according to a Gartner survey, it means not having simply a mandated hybrid work environment without employee buy-in. According to the survey, only 14% of digital workers preferred this environment. The large majority, 77%, so over 3/4, want a say in creating their hybrid work model. So it's crucial for leaders to involve employees in actual decision-making. And we need to adapt to shifting employee needs over time. Employee needs have evolved over the course of the pandemic, over the course of even the return to office mandates, and that requires organizations to respond thoughtfully and listen to the voice of the employee as much as they listen to the voice of the customer. So involve employee in hybrid schedule design to prevent attrition, increase retention, enhance employee buy-in and investment into the company, their loyalty, drive their engagement, employee engagement and morale, which all increases productivity. Now, what does it mean to design the perfect hybrid model? The key ingredient for success, I found, in helping companies make this transition, and also in external research surveys by Gartner, by Gallup, the key is to allow teams, rank and file teams, to create their own schedules. That promotes trust and transparency and reduces miscommunication and misunderstandings, which all help boost employee satisfaction and commitment to the future of work model that's chosen. Also, rethink hybrid meetings. We see hybrid meetings are currently perceived as less effective than other types of meetings. So the Gartner survey, going back to that, hybrid meetings ranked the second least productive type of meetings. 47% of digital workers preferred virtual meetings with audio and video, 46% find in-person meetings most productive, and hybrid meetings are really lowly ranked. So it's crucial to make sure that hybrid meetings are a productive experience, and we can do that. How to make them more productive? We need to ensure clear visibility and audibility, so people need to hear all participants and would need to see clearly all participants, whether they're in the room or coming in virtually. We need to have seamless interaction with in-meeting content and conversation, again, virtual participants and in the room. We have to have people joining in easily with a single button or link, because a number of people aren't as technically savvy, so making sure that they join in easily is really important. And we need seamless transition across operating systems and devices, because people don't all use the same device. And you want to also get some meeting experience feedback. So get some surveys and feedback from employees and see how they're doing and what can be done to improve their experience. We want to think about monitoring, but it's not simply monitoring keystrokes. It has to be trust-based, and employees need to make sure that they know, you need to make sure that employees know what's going on and that they trust that the monitoring system is going to help them. Because if they are suspicious of the monitoring system, that causes disengagement. And 96% of employees do accept monitoring if it helps them do their job better, according to the Gartner survey. So how do you foster that trust in monitoring? You want to have transparent data collection practices. Tell employees what you collect, show them what you collect, and show them how it helps them do their job by helping you improve their productivity and the way that the organization functions. Gather employee data with their consent and involve employees in developing the data collection and evaluation. How do you motivate the return to office? How do you motivate this really challenging tendency because employees really hate the commute? Well, the motivators for digital workers to return to office are FaceTime and workplace amenities. Consequences are only 10%. So you really want to be thinking about how you address their motivations and really not focus on the consequences, focus on what gets them involved in coming to the office to create a personalized digital experience that workers will enjoy when they come to the office. And involve employees in scheduling when they're coming to the office to help uncover their motivations for coming to the office. And one of the biggest problems I see is employees coming to the office and the people they want to see aren't there, and then they really don't like coming to the office. So it talks to FaceTime. Or they don't have the right workplace amenities. They come to the office and they want to collaborate, and there's insufficient space for collaboration because the office is in the old style setup for mostly individual work. But employees in the hybrid world are going to do their individual work at home the large majority of the time because focused individual work is much better done at home. They're coming to the office mainly for collaboration, and if they don't have the right amenities, that will not be helpful. If you have the right amenities and if you have the right scheduling for FaceTime, that will lead to better satisfaction and retention. You want to also think about the kind of mistakes that leaders make. One is called the status quo bias, which is a preference for what we currently have, what we see as the status quo, good status quo, over change. So leaders who are influenced by this bias are really reluctant to explore new ways of working, for example, involving employees in work schedule decisions. The leaders are used to making the decisions by themselves without employee input and buy-in. And that's a problem if you want to get employee investment and reduce attrition, improve engagement and satisfaction. So they fear disruption, these leaders fear disruption of established routines and processes, and that risks losing out on engaged and productive team members. To overcome the status quo bias, leaders must recognize the value of adapting to a new situation and addressing the discomfort with change for themselves. They need to involve employees in decision-making and embrace this innovative approach with involving employees for collaborative and successful work environments. Again, it has to be collaborative with a lot of employee investment. Another problem I see is the empathy gap. So the empathy gap has to do with how leaders have a difficulty understanding other people's emotions and their needs without experiencing these emotions. Because leaders have a much stronger preference for coming to the office. Their personal perspective is that, hey, in-office work is great because they can control people, they can manage people better when they see them. But that's a problem because employees don't like to be micromanaged. They like a lot of autonomy. And so you need to be empathetic to their perspective. So you need to have active listening and seeking feedback from employees and respect their emotions, showing empathy to them. And that, of course, involves getting their buy-in and input. So to empower employees for hybrid work success means allowing and encouraging and supporting employees to co-create hybrid work schedule within organizations and pushing down the decision-making to the team level. Empowered employees are engaged, motivated and perform better, and they have higher productivity and higher retention. So this prepares the workforce for the truly modern business world of flexible schedule. Embracing hybrid work revolution gives employees autonomy, and autonomy has been shown to improve productivity and engagement. And it helps ensure their success by ensuring your success as an employer. All right, everyone. This, I hope, has been helpful for learning how to co-create the return to office, the hybrid work schedule with your employees. Please make sure to subscribe wherever you checked out the show, and make sure to leave a review. It helps others discover the show, and it helps us improve the show. All right, everyone. I look forward to seeing you next episode of the Wise Decision Maker Show. In the meantime, the wisest and most profitable decisions to you, my friends.